Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to shout out all the people who do support me on Patreon. So massive shout out to Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvault, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As the Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, David Brackier Gifford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Jeranism, Joshua, Kirsten, Life is Short, Matt, Michael, Nyby, Paige Love, Qatar Craig, Reinhardt, Renee, Rune, Sally Ballis, Sam Hein, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, theflatearthchannel.com, Tina Baker, Tom Hawkins. Massive shout outs to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. I think we have got a couple of people in Discord and on G+, so hello out there if you can hear me.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to disappear temporarily because I haven't actually set up the live show yet, so hopefully who've we got in Discord? Ryan Eartherton. Maybe you'll get a bit of conversation. Otherwise, there might be a bit of dead air at the beginning here.
All right. Hey, Ryan.
Hello, 10th man.
So my dead air sounds just like you.
That's it. He does sound just like me.
Come on, Discord, talk to me.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. Talk. It's all good. This show potentially is going out just after I've released a whole load of stuff from Amsterdam. Let's see if I can get a Wi-Fi connection while I'm over there.
Yeah.
Leaving tonight, but by the now that this is being broadcast now, should have hopefully actually published a few bits and bobs from there. We shall see.
Yep, it'll work out.
But these are going to be relatively short shows. They're not going to be heavily extended uncut and after shows. But I'll set it recording while I'm setting up, just so I'll get a bit more of an extended recording. So if you're the kind of person that just likes the chat and doesn't really aren't fazed by a bit of dead air, then this is the show for you. But yeah, I'm going to start it like I would on a Monday or something. This is typically how I'd start a Monday show, because the after show only goes out to the more limited audience on the second channel, Nathan Oakley. So if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980, which you are, subscribe to my second channel if you like this kind of content, as you get the full uncut and after show typically going out on that show, but over the weekend they go out obviously on my main channel. And I normally hope for the Saturday and Sunday shows to have like loads of guests before I hit the record button, just so it starts enthralling for the audience. But no, if there's a bit of dead air, I don't mind. I'm going to go and get a coffee and set up the actual live show.
All right. So anyone on Discord up for a little talk before the show starts? Hello, hello. Mm-hmm. You got your fill for dead air. I think we're going to have
Yeah, it's all good. Ryan went, so you're completely left on your own, but you can probably hear my machine going, we're back in 2 secs. I'll try not to leave you too long.
No, it's all right. I don't mind.
I'm back now, coffee in hand. I think if I actually schedule the live show, that typically brings people the awareness needed to get them on the panel before we start. So let's do that first.
Oh, I see. Sending out a little invite.
I've put the wrong chat feed in. Put the Nathan Oakley 1980 chat feed in. Where this is going live. Hey ho. We'll figure that out in a minute.
So we're gonna send them to dead air on purpose.
No, just the chat. So the
No, that's what I meant. I mean, like a dead chat.
yeah, basically it's going to be a dead chat. Okay, right. This is going to look rough and ready. Pretend this isn't happening if you're watching. Nothing to see here. Right, let's get this scheduled. 973.
The 27th.
Say again?
I was just saying it's the 27th on the date. Some more fakery from NASA and Goddard space agencies.
Say that again.
More fakery from NASA and the Goddard space agencies.
More fakery. It's nothing but fakery.
Yeah, they got. Yeah, I'm just saying more of it. It's all fake, but it's more of it. Black hole breakthrough. NASA captures its first ever black hole, tearing a star to shreds.
Oh, yeah.
It's like someone who had a cigarette or a cigar and knows how to blow one of those circles, and that's what it looks like.
I see.
It's really remarkable.
Remarkable, eh?
Totally remarkable for all the globe zombies that don't challenge anything, can't think for themselves. Jump on a trampoline to get rid of deviation, and at the same time say there is deviation. Yep. So you're headed out to Amsterdam today or tonight?
Well, technically tomorrow morning, but I'll leave here about 3 a.m, something like that. I think my flight's at 5:30 a.m.
Mm.
And I think I get in at 9. I can't remember. I'd have to look at my itinerary.
So you're just going for the Amsterdam part while they continue the tour.
Yeah. I mean, the Globe Light tour's all over the place, obviously, in their van that they've got. But I'm just going to the conference.
Mm-hmm. Is this the first year or second year of it, or how long has it been going on?
I think the conference is just Saturday. It's just one day of presentations. So the Kidderminster
No.
one
I
was...
mean it's history of. Is this the first annual, second annual? Or?
Oh, first one in Amsterdam.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, Arwen's camera came yesterday.
Oh, cool. Let's take some pictures of giving him the camera, post it. That'll be good to see the big smile on his face.
Hopefully so. I need to buy a battery pack. So I've at least got some capacity to film things with my phone. Just
You don't have backup?
Say again?
You don't have a backup?
No, I've never needed one, but the phone's getting on a bit now, although reasonably good, but I can get an hour of live streaming approximately, maybe a little bit more, but then the battery's completely dead.
Entropy.
Well, just power draw.
You used the available energy and it transformed into something else.
Yeah, live stream. I mean, I think they are fairly, I think it must consume a fair bit of power to do that, which is fair enough. But I may just not live stream. I just film things and then when I get back, publish them.
Hey, Flatzoid.
Hello, how's it going?
Thanks.
Got your marshmallows ready?
It is weekend, so sounds like a plan.
I was thinking about the housekeeping question myself.
I was on 24/7 earlier with Sean and Little G. That guy can't answer anything.
Maybe that's why he's demoted to Little G.
Yep. At the end of his conversation, it sounded like you didn't believe in gravity.
Must be his teenage years. He's rebelling against Big G.
Anyway, what's your guys' plans for the weekend?
Well, Nathan's got the Amsterdam conference, and I'm on the farm, so I'll be taking care of my stuff.
Nice.
And you?
Me, just gonna finish off the Beetle tomorrow, then probably clean a bit and spend time with my family.
So are you going to sell that Beetle that you're working on, or are you going to keep it?
No, it's my wife's friend's one. I'm just doing her a favor and doing it for her. Yeah, it's not mine.
Gotcha. Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Maybe I can start working my own car now.
Yeah, that's true. That's nice of you to help out. So did you catch any of the show yesterday, the after show and all that?
I left it, when was it? About 4:45 this time, so but I did download it, so I would be learning. I'm gonna listen to a bit of the after show later when I'll go home. But yeah, it was a good show when I was on there.
Yeah, I had to travel almost 2 hours, so I was listening in and out with my phone. It was really good.
I would like it if Simon and Dan would try and come on though. Yeah, it can be quite fun.
Yeah, well, has he ever come on? I mean, I don't recall. Have you?
Nope, they never do.
Yeah, so it's like Rumpus in chat now. Now, Rumpus used to come on, but now he says he's not coming on, but he's all over chat. And then when he challenges the panel or Nathan directly, we say, well, come on. And he says, no, I don't want to help the show. Well, what's he doing in the chat? He's helping the show in the chat. What's the difference?
Because they know they get obliviated, totally demolished if they do come in.
Yeah, they come in with their double speak and Nathan doesn't put up with it and they don't like it.
Yep, throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Cry.
Yeah, no one would listen to the show if it went on for hours and hours back and forth. Just the minute you spot a fallacy, you call it out and ask for a concession. And when they don't, that's when the show gets hot.
Yeah, well, the first words that come out their mouth is usually a fallacy.
Well, that's why they're chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's real easy. If you have all the proof, all the evidence on your side, come on the show, present it through the scientific method, if it's going to fall within that method, uh, or just present what you have that is not a natural phenomenon, and we'll go from there. But they come on with fallacies and they get called out, and they want us to accept occurrences on this earth that aren't happening, but they say it's happening. Yeah, but I don't ever see it. I never experience it. Yeah, but you are spinning 1,038 miles at the equator. Well, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. Their brain is wired differently, I think. I mean, like I was saying to them, what we stand and see and observe is totally opposite to what you're told about, and then you want to come and tell us what is reality.
Yeah.
I mean, same with Sean G. He was like, he doesn't. He says straight, he doesn't know what gravity is, but he's trying to explain it to us. Does that make sense?
Well, it's at least be honest and say, I can't prove this, but this is what I've been taught, and this is the best I could do in explaining it, and then wait for the comeback and what our side says. But they actually promote it as if it's there when they can't even prove it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and then they take our observation. They say relative density, which you can prove scientifically, and then they go and say, no, it's just specific gravity. You know what I mean? So they're trying to put it into their ballpark. In the meantime, it's just demolishing the argument. They don't even realize it.
Well, unless Man Dan and Lil G is 105 years old, gravity was born before they were, right? And it was birthed by other people. Now they've given up that gravity 105 years ago when Einsteinian relativity came in, and it's bending of space-time. So gravity died 105 years ago, and they're still resuscitating that baby.
Yeah, and I was laughing because I sent in that link where Eric and Linda says we've known for a long time gravity doesn't exist, and what he does, he's like, no, it's not his scientists. It's just we're just cherry picking.
Well, that guy, the Verlinda from Amsterdam, I watched a whole separate YouTube speech of his, and he made so many predictions and things without proof, without any evidence, and he even said it.
Yeah, it's just a string theorist. But like I was trying to explain to him, aren't all your beliefs just theories? It's just concepts. It's exactly what it is. It's just that's why I like using their scientists against them, because I mean, it's their sources.
He's totally in the conception realm of pseudoscience. I can't even say science because it's not science. So he's even saying all this stuff, and because he's tying it into it, and he said a lot of times, we observe, you know, we watch, we observe, but no actual test, no empirical validation of what he observes.
Yeah, well, one thing I've realized is they just make computer programs and they put their theories in there, their so-called hypothesis. And because it brings up the algorithm, and they think, oh, look, it's possible just because a computer program shows it. Now that's their proof.
But when you live in Einsteinian math, you just reverse engineer everything through math and make it work in a 4D world, which is not the world we live in. And as to what they observe and could conjecture, why don't you just observe you're not spinning and give me that? But they won't go there.
Yeah, I'm busy working out my own concept. I just got to think of a name for it. So it's got to do with entropy and equilibrium. How they entwine to relative density.
I got a lot of relatives that are dense. How's that?
Perfect.
You could just do that one. We all got relatives density.
Because if you look at it, everything seeks equilibrium. And I mean, everything's got the type of entropy state to it. So
Yeah.
obviously it's linked, and that's what causes the relative density to work.
Well, why don't you do what they do? Why don't you just make up something and get the math to work, and then go write a paper on it, and you'll get famous and win a Nobel Prize.
Can always do that, yeah.
Yeah, and they can't say you're wrong because the math works. As long as it all adds up and
Now
divides correctly.
I've tried that. I've made math that proves invisible unicorns, but that's still, they don't believe me. But the math is right.
That's all you need for this generation. Yeah, nonsense.
Yeah,
Yeah, the more
yeah.
you listen, to the likes of Verlind and all that, they destroy their own side.
Yeah, well, they contradict everything they say.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I think it was QE that talked about these guys are running fast and hard towards the Eastern religions. They realize information doesn't just happen, and that their only out, other than coming to Christianity, is, the one God with the one truth, is to say many gods, many truths, and I can live the way I want. So they go to the Eastern religions.
Yeah, that's why they're pushing Islam everywhere. One
Yep,
world religion,
yep, they're all working towards that, aren't they?
and it's sad. But it shows you fight
Well,
against principalities and powers.
well, that's the way it's supposed to end, right? Revelation says that.
Yep.
So it's actually fulfilling. And we just happen to be a very special generation observing it. I mean, think about flat Earth. What the heck? Whoever thought they'd be debating the nature of Earth?
I don't think anybody expected it at this time and age.
I certainly didn't. I never
But
believed. I never believed what they told me, and I just never paid attention to,
but you know,
globes and things. I just never went there because I never believed it, but I didn't know how to fight it either. So
yeah,
it's
but
just like, no, it's a bunch of nonsense. But then all of a sudden, flat Earth comes in, and that's part of me that never agreed. Resist.
no, no. But what caught me off guard was, I mean, I've been a Christian a long time, and I've always read my Bible, but I've never seen it in that context as flat. Understand? It's like as soon as you find out, like the whole concept just changes. Like I say, your paradox changes.
Well,
You actually,
that's because the preachers who stand in front of the pulpits don't spend any time doing word studies in Genesis and other parts that reveal, obviously, the earth is flat and motionless, and it's got corners and it's got foundations and all that kind of stuff, and the firmament. So they just buy into this globe model because, what if they started talking about what the Bible actually said? And then, well, the pews would be empty because all these people go home and watch NASA videos.
yep, it's sad.
But taking that out of it, you don't even need the Bible. You just have to open your eyes. Just open your eyes, be a human being, and be honestly stand somewhere on this earth and say, what's moving? The sky, the luminaries above, and the wind, the clouds, everything above. Is that what's moving, or am I moving, or are we both moving? It's just simple three questions, and the answer is always the same. We're stationary, and everything else is moving. Even they have to admit to that. All you got to do is look at a tree and the wind and sailboat on the water, and the sun rising in the east, setting in the west, and the stars doing the same, and the moon doing the same. It's every day. It's right there in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, what you're observing reality is what you get.
Yeah. And then if they want to say we're actually moving, but because of gravity, you say, well, you just told me there is no gravity. You just told me that it's a non-force force that pretends to be a force, but it's not a force. And it's what's actually doing it is some concept in the vast, vast universe of empty space where time is able to bend. And wait a minute, isn't time a concept? How do you bend the concept? So the whole thing is rubbish.
I'm just gonna keep on mute for a while because the compressor's gonna make a noise.
No problem.
No
Come on,
worries.
Discord.
All right, quite early, eh? Got about 40 minutes before we go live.
Well, we had an early show today, and it was just a few of us.
Wow, that Simon Dunn video is creeping up to like almost 1,000 views.
Is it? Nice.
They came out a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, so just it's not even the day yet. Thank you, Sci-Fi, whatever his nickname is. So, did QE hit his mark? Go check and see where he's at. For his computer. Let me see. I'll tell you right now.
Look. Have a quick look.
438.
Oh, just a look. 438. So he's like $2 shy, right?
Yeah, he'll make it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get there.
Yeah, it's almost there. It's good. Yeah, he aired a show yesterday on his channel, an older one with Robert Bassano, and they were talking about the railgun.
Right, yeah, so.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I ran into as well. And I thought that was a very good, how can I put it, test or topic of how that line of sight, 125 miles.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of issues with that. Not in regards to there actually being issues, just issues that are annoying from globe heads. So that argument's since evolved into the Sea Sparrow missile argument. So that's far more watertight.
Yeah, which is fine, whether it's over 34 miles or 50 miles or 125 miles, it still shouldn't happen.
Sure.
You remember you were talking about that lady who was talking about queuing in the radio frequency, and she finally, instead of going through the relay stations, pointed it directly at the source, and it was over 100 miles and got a great reception. And then her higher ups told her, no, we don't want you to do it that way. You have to go through the relay stations. Remember that story?
Yeah, Robin Poe, Flat Earth UK 7.
Now, that is, I really like that whole story a lot. What the heck? I have, on my property, I have an antenna, the old type that people used to put on their roof. And I have it aimed towards where it picks up over 100 channels. But I also have YouTube TV, and so I can catch some other things. But then when everything goes down with Wi-Fi, I just go to my direct antenna and I get a HD signal now with the antenna. And the picture quality is fantastic, and you're not paying for anything.
Cool.
So just antennas show you that I think I have a range of 150 to 200 miles with my antenna.
Very good.
Yeah, and you know, when I twist it around and it's pointing the wrong direction, I don't get anything. And then as I turn it and hit the seek channel knob or whatever, all of a sudden it starts clicking off, 30 channels, 50 channels, 60 channels. It starts locking in on those. Then I just put a bolt through it and keep it right there.
I kind of switched off to a certain extent because it's just that any broadcast media just doesn't have the appeal it used to for obvious reasons.
Well, I watch Formula One. I watch MotoGP. Mostly sports for me. Then I mute the commercials. I don't watch any news. I have my internet icons on my phone and just go to different sites and just see the headlines. Just to see what they're spewing out, just so I have an idea of what the lie is, what the next lie is.
Yeah, my TV's never on. I can't stand the TV. I can't stand TV anymore.
Don't even have one. I haven't got a TV.
I use my TV now for my computer screen. Nice and big.
Sorry, go on.
No, when they first brought TV, they had good, wholesome shows, family-oriented shows to get everyone to agree to this medium. And so everybody started getting TVs, and they're watching really well-produced shows that matched a lot of families' values. The bad guy would not win, the good guy won. Shows like Father Knows Best. Now you can't even say Father. That's how they got everybody hooked. And once everybody was hooked, they started now putting in all the poison. And that was like the frog in the frying pan kind of a deal.
"15 minutes. We'll go live."
Yeah, it's a Friday. And we came on early.
It's because I've got no kids running around, so things take far less time. I'm all set up and ready and calm. Because I wasn't wearing my watch, I didn't actually realise what time it was. I'm like, I know I've got to start recording about this sort of stage of the game, but because I'd done it all that little bit quicker, yeah. But then again, I don't know. Maybe the audience will appreciate the very laid-back nature of this pre-show.
Yeah, very laid back. Like three of us.
I'm enjoying it. It's keeping me busy.
Like, yeah, you have no choice. You ain't got a TV.
I actually asked my wife about it the other day. I don't know how it came up in conversation, but obviously she doesn't have a TV either. Neither of my kids have a TV. In fact, neither of them they don't know what TV is. So, and I asked her, I was like, "Do you actually miss it?" Like, there's a couple of shows that I miss. And then she rattled off a couple of fashion programs, and that was the extent that she went to in terms of saying what she missed. She missed a couple of very specific specialist fashion programs that had been on, and that was all she had to say about it. It wasn't like, "Oh yeah, I miss all the soap operas," and I know that's how it came up. She was saying, "Oh, it's just like a soap opera," and I could be spending my time watching soap operas. She said it in jest. And I was like, well, actually, do you miss it? She's like, no. Other than, and then she named a couple of shows.
Yeah, there's the biggest soap opera is called As the World Turns.
Right.
Aptly named.
But she was, obviously the main motivation for getting rid of TV in the first instance was we couldn't afford to keep it. So that was one of the reasons we got rid of it to begin with. And wasn't very happy about it at first, but now, like I say, I think TV's generally poison. And had there been, let's say there was a TV here now, she may not have gone out. She's gone off to Stratford-upon-Avon to go to a playhouse. Anyway, she may not have done that. She might have just stuck the telly on and sat here and just let the kids run around to their own devices. Because TV does that to people.
Yeah, well, when my kids were born in the mid-'80s, we turned off TV for 5 years. No TV, no brainwashing my kids between 0 and 5. And we had a blast. And today they know the lie, they know the propaganda, they know everything. And I'm very pleased with the outcome of that decision.
Right.
Yeah, but haven't you seen the children today don't know how to keep themselves busy? All they want to do is just watch TV.
Well, the phone is their TV now. I mean, to give a kid a smartphone is dangerous.
So that's why I love my children. They love outside. They actually cry if they don't come outside. They just want to be outside.
Yeah, that's the way kids should be. I mean, we're on property here, and my grandkids are here with me on my property, and we go out playing the dirt and build things, and they're running around. They need several showers a day.
We can hear whatever you're watching, Sleeping Warrior.
Yo.
Hello.
Are you not going to Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Well, I'll leave later on.
So what's your plans? Are you leaving tonight and then coming back tomorrow evening?
Exactly. So I'll leave at about 3 a.m. and I think the flight I get back is 9 p.m. Arrives back at the same time.
Leave at 3 a.m. to get out to Amsterdam early morning?
Yeah, so I'll get there at 9.
Cool. I hear that Arwin's going on the run. Is he fucking idiot or what?
Say that again. He's dropping, doing Global Eye tour.
Yeah.
Has he not got a driving license?
No, he says that he can't hack the pressure. I'm like, Arwin, this is like a brilliant opportunity for you to be a fucking man.
What pressure?
Well, he's put in the Master B chat. He said, no, not in Master B, in one of the group chats. He said, it's not an opportunity I can take. I don't think I can go on the bus. I can't get my shit together mentally as well as equipment-wise. What fucking equipment do you need? A couple of pair of underpants, a couple of pairs of...
But he was so excited.
I don't understand him. He's a fucking idiot. I've told him he's an idiot. I said, give people the money back if you're not going, you idiots. People have given you that money to do that job. If you don't want to go, give them the money back.
Oh, has he raised funds to do it?
I think so.
Well, then he's almost obliged. Like you say, I mean, he could give them all their money back, I suppose, but...
No, he's going to have to, isn't he?
Why didn't he just do it? What a flake. Oh well, it's none of my business.
It's none of mine either. It's just such a good opportunity for a guy of Arwin's caliber, his build, to get out of his house, to get into a bit of a social environment with people that are on the same side of him, that are not enemies. It's win-win for Arwin. I can't understand why he's feeling any pressure. He's got fuck all reason to stay at home all day, every day, and that's what's going to end up happening. He's like, come on, man.
Could be a touch of agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia?
Yeah.
That's fear of open spaces. A caravan is not an open space.
Is it the other way around? No, I thought... Yeah, fear of open spaces. Exactly. So he wants to be inside.
Yeah, but I think agoraphobia is like not being close to stuff like in a field as opposed to being in a camper van. Camper vans are claustrophobic, not agoraphobic.
No, that's not what I mean. what I mean is, if you sort of become a bit of a hermit and you're always inside your own dwelling, you get a bit agoraphobic. In other words, you don't want to go out into the wide world. And I say wide world like you're saying specifically field, probably because it says that in the definition of agoraphobia. But I mean, just stop being reclusive and a bit sort of tenuous, to fearful of getting out there into the big wide world and travelling around a bit. Forget the confines of the van.
Agoraphobia. Let's see what it says. Definition. I just thought, the type of anxiety disorder in which you feel fear and avoid places or situations that might cause you to panic and make you feel trapped, helpless, or embarrassed.
There you go.
I don't understand him. I don't get it.
Maybe, and he sounded like such a, how can I say, like social. So you wouldn't think he would be scared to talk in public.
Flatzod, your connection is shocking.
He might change his mind. he might change his mind. You just don't know.
I hope he does. I'm going to say a little prayer.
Sorry, I will just move closer.
I'm going to say a little prayer. Dear the God of gravity, please give Arwen the strength and the power to be a master and get him on that trip. Amen.
Radius Dominus.
Chocolate.
Hold on, let me say hold on. The blessing. Radius Dominus Gravitus Spiritus Sanctus Arwen.
Yeah. Come on, Arwen. Be a fucking man. Do something good, positive, constructive. You'll get subs out of it if he does.
Of course. Collaborating with other YouTubers is like right up there on the list of things they say you should do to grow your channel.
Hey, Anthony, the problem with your parody of praying to the false god of gravity is that he always keeps his subjects down, never lifts them up.
It's a downward force, not an uplift. So we need to convert gravity into buoyancy and give the guy a lift. What we should do is start each show with a sermon, a prayer to the Lord of the God of gravity, just to take
the dead god of gravity. He can't keep things down. The helium balloon puts him.
Hey, do you know what? I'm going to have to share. I don't know whether I should do this in the start of the show or not. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes. Everett Anderson, Nathan, have you come across him?
I don't know.
I blocked him years ago. He wanted to speak to me about this paper because he just disagrees. And I was like, well, you are Everett Anderson. You need to give me more of a reason to have a conversation with you. And he just said, I'm sorry. Words to that effect. I said, okay, let's do it. So we had a good back and forth. And he's done. Yeah, I didn't realize he'd actually done a couple of like response videos to it because obviously I have him blocked. I'm not going to see his work. And one of the things that he's got in his what do you call it, in his response videos. He's done another one. Riley's Einstein letter. One of the things that he's done in his video, he cited a couple of paragraphs out of the out of some Department of Education paragraph book thing. Listen to the wording that's in this Department of Education. It says, "This is, I think, it's advice to academy status schools rather than national curriculum taught, state schools. But nonetheless, listen to what it says. Quote." The parties acknowledge that the clauses 2.43 and 2.44 of the funding agreement, so basically they get paid for this, which preclude the teaching of pseudoscience and require the teaching of evolution, apply to all academies. They explicitly require that pupils are taught about the theory of evolution and prevent academy trusts from teaching creationism as scientific fact. Over the page it says, creationism does not accord with the scientific consensus or the very large body of established scientific evidence, nor does it accurately and consistently employ the scientific method. Oh, right, so evolution does it. Anyway, it goes on, it says, and as such, it should not be presented to pupils at the academy as a scientific theory. But in the law, it states that it's just balanced and opposing views. It doesn't need to be scientific theory compliant. It just needs to be balanced presentation of opposing views. So it can be taught And this is basically, this document's completely illegal. Now, what this guy's done by trying to attack me is demonstrated that this. He says that this evidence doesn't support my paper, but what he's actually doing is demonstrating that these motherfuckers are refusing to apply what the law says, and they're claiming that evolution is compliant with scientific method. And I'm like, we need to jump all over this. This is fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's bollocks.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you? Then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by 10th Man, Flatzoid and Sleeping Warrior in G+. How the devil are you all?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hola.
Morning.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Yeah,
Hello to
chocolate's
everyone.
here.
Also, hello to everyone in Discord. Good to have you also. I don't think I've taken anyone off mute. I'm sorry. I'll be there in a second though. There we go. Slick. Very slick. Hello again, everyone in Discord.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Hello.
Someone's from Somerset. Anyway, any signs of Earth curve?
No.
All flat in South Africa.
Yeah, nothing from Nevada.
Flat in Somerset?
Generally, nothing on Earth.
Yeah, always Earth-based variety, yeah.
Yeah, I might be Somerset, but down in Pembrokeshire, there's definitely no signs of Earth curve.
Ah, Pembrokeshire. My bad. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety, of course?
One
Nope.
word. No.
Oh, that's a very distinct no. Really? They claim Earth spins, you know. Anyway, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
Gravity!
An absolute no.
No.
What's gravity?
I don't know.
Bending of a conceptual medium.
The same stuff that
Giving
doesn't
rise
exist.
to a force that's not a force, but you could think of it
chocolate.
like a force.
That's the any scientific evidence that total nonsense?
Eric Belinda. We've known for a long time gravity does not exist.
Good quote.
It's time to yell it. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. That guy that said that we've known for a long time that gravity does not exist. That's Dr. Verlinde, Eric Verlinde. He's a professor at the University of Amsterdam. I've told Jaren. I said, Jaren, get over to the university while you're in Amsterdam and just get him on. Have a conversation if you can. Got to be worth a punt that. See if you can knock on his door and speak to him and just say, hey.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would. I've asked Roxanne to pass on the message, but she's the most unreliable person in the whole world, so she probably hasn't done it.
Any evidence
Otherwise,
that,
Nathan will show up there by tomorrow.
yeah, I don't think I'll squeeze that into my day trip. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No evidence.
No apparent distance.
Just a bit of maths. Apparently, maths proves that the tangible distance to the sun is something that is true. Bit like gravity, just a bit of maths.
A bit of math. I ran into your boy Sean G this morning in Discord.
Jesus, you sound like you're at the bottom of a gravity well.
Yeah, you're my.
I know.
Yeah, Chocolate, I was explaining to them earlier. It sounded like you were saying gravity wasn't existing.
Say that again, Pato.
I said it sounded like G, but Sean G was saying gravity wasn't existing.
Yeah, first he said we don't know the source, and then he said we can see the effects, and like, dude, shut up. It's ridiculous.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Yummy marshmallows over a fire.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten
Sorry.
iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
No evidence, but a lot of stories.
12 kilometers, that's it.
Any evidence of the presupposition itself? Yeah, value?
The
No.
Arabi no.
The body of science, Nathan. The body of science, that doesn't work. That's not cool.
No, sorry, Chocolate.
Chocolate, you're inaudible, mate.
Well, I heard him. He said body of science.
Yeah, but he's like a 1 out of 10.
Yeah. Body of science does not compel me. Bloody religious zealots. I think that concludes the housekeeping.
Well, we're still got our 7 housekeeping questions that cannot be debunked, and we're going on over around 2 years, right?
Nathan,
Something like that. Sorry, go on.
I want to have a massive moan.
Is it about me?
No, not this time.
It's not about me.
Right. No, it's not about you.
Oh, Max, all yours. Go ahead.
Oddly, you're exempt. Right. I'm gonna promote this moron, right? Not because this is a good video, but because this is absolutely nailing my point, absolutely completely. Yet the perspective interpretation by this moron is kind of just, it's just making me feel physically sick. So this guy called Everett Anderson, I blocked him years ago, so I've not seen anything from him. I actually thought he was one of the normal trolls on a troll account. I actually spoke to him yesterday for the first time. Didn't realize he was an actual person. I just thought he was a normal sock account. Anyway, he's done a debunk video, Sleeping Warrior Fails Again. And I'm going to like this video because it's just the epitome of what is wrong with this whole system. I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk about this in the context of this Section 406 of the Education Act. And what I want to remind people of is, if there is a teaching of any subject in the school, including the national curriculum subjects, not just ones that we want to bring up, it's all subjects in the school, guys. Let's be clear, all of them. If it's promoted in a partisan political way, and by virtue of it being on the national curriculum policy, that is a policy of the government, that makes it political, guys. It really does. You don't have to like it, but it does. If it's one-sided and it's promoted as in like the other sides aren't getting a chance to talk about or debate or have proper tuition on the points that are being presented, it's unlawful. It's that simple. It's not difficult to understand this. Look at the context that we can apply it, right? This guy, Everett Anderson, he's only got 182 views on the video. What I want you to do is just consider what I say, and if you agree with me, go and voice your comments on the bottom of this video, because what he's trying to present to me here is 2 citations from somewhere. I don't know where this document is. He might have given me a link in it. 2 pages from the document, and I want to read it because this is absolutely glorious for demonstrating how the promotion of partisan political topics is happening in schools right now. So we'll start with, this is in the context of evolution, right? Evolution against creation and why creation can't be taught. It reads, quote, the parties acknowledge that the clauses 2.43 and 2.44 of the funding agreement, let's make it full screen, which preclude the teaching of pseudoscience. So we all know what pseudoscience is. Anything that doesn't comply with scientific method is pseudoscience, and require the teaching of evolution. What you mean? So that complies with scientific method? I don't think so. Apply to all academies. They explicitly require that pupils are taught about the theory of evolution, because obviously that's scientific method compliant, isn't it? Theory of evolution, and prevent academy trusts from teaching creationism as scientific fact. The next slide says, creationism does not accord to the scientific consensus or the very large body of established scientific evidence, nor does it accurately and consistently employ the scientific method. What, you mean like evolution does, you mean? And as such, it should not be presented to pupils at the academy as a scientific theory. Well, it shouldn't be presented as a scientific theory, but it should be presented to the pupils at the academy because it's required to in the law, just for completion so that they know I'm not cherry picking. The next slide says, the Academy Trust must not allow any view or theory to be taught as evidence-based if it is contrary to established scientific or historical evidence and explanations. That's not what the law says. This clause applies to all subjects taught at the Academy. That's the only true bit in this whole page, because basically what they're trying to say is that the evolution theory is scientific method compliant. However, Section 406 states that you can't promote partisan political views in the teaching of any subject in the school. Well, if they're limiting it to the teachings that are based on scientific method, that means that evolution's got to go out the window as well, because there's no scientific method compliant evolution theory that is able to be presented based on their own rules. But because this promotion of partisan politics in the teaching of any classroom, when it says, this previous slide, when it says creationism does not comply with science, it does not accord with the scientific consensus or the large body of scientific evidence, nor does it accurately and consistently employ scientific method, and as such, it should not be presented to pupils at the academy as scientific theory. No, you're right. It shouldn't be presented at the academy as scientific theory, but it should be presented at the academy as the balanced opposing view. And it should get an equal and opposing status by virtue of the provisions of Section 407. Because where evolution is taught as one-sided, promoted, partisan political, then creation has to be offered a balanced presentation of opposing views, regardless of whether it complies with scientific method or not. So the change in the standard of the burden of, or the standard of evidence to compliant with scientific method, even though evolution doesn't comply with it, and they're ruling it out on the basis that it shouldn't be presented as scientific views. No, I agree, it shouldn't be, but it should be presented as an opposing view, because neither of them comply with scientific method. So what an absolute total, like a brilliant example of a non-compliant, legally a legally flawed document, and this guy's using it to try and claim that I was wrong. Actually, this is the bloody problem, Everett Anderson. The people that are trying to get into the system, flat earthers or whatever, we're not the risk. The risk is the people that are already in there, that are infiltrated it. And we're trying to say, look, if it doesn't comply with scientific method, it shouldn't be in. And what you've actually demonstrated is that evolution shouldn't be in the syllabus at all. And if creationism isn't supposed to be getting taught because it's not scientific, then, well, that breaches the rule, because if evolution is being taught because they say it does comply with scientific method, the creationists are allowed to present a balanced presentation of opposing views, regardless of whatever this document is. I'd love to know what this document is. I don't think he's put a... Oh, maybe he has. I'm going to have to go and have a look at this now and see what this relates to.
Before you do, though, just go back to the slide with it, and then where it says creationism, you can essentially discount scientific consensus on account of the fact that that's a reification fallacy. Science is a method. Now, they contradict themselves in the next sentence because they say scientific evidence. Well, scientific evidence is hypothesis-based experimentation to establish cause and effect. That is what scientific evidence is, regardless of this reification fallacy scientific consensus. Like, science can suddenly talk to another science and get a consensus. No, people can do that, what they call scientists. So the people consensus can, well, I won't say what you can do with that, but nevertheless, they make it explicitly clear in the next breath, which is scientific evidence. Yeah? It then makes it even further clear when it says the word scientific method. Well, we know what the scientific method is. Observe a natural phenomena, formulate a hypothesis with independent and dependent variables, otherwise known as your cause and your effect, and a null, and then validate or invalidate what you presume caused the effect by way of systematic experimentation. That's the scientific method. So in place of creationism, you could put heliocentrism, and that would absolutely stand true. Yeah, and evolution. I was gonna list them off, but yes, you've done it for me. But yeah, heliocentrism is ultimately, or the Copernican model, if you want to bring it in line with what your paper says. You could literally stick the Copernican model, or the Copernican model, does not accord with a reification fallacy drawn by the person writing this paragraph, or the very large body of scientific evidence, as there is none for the Copernican model, nor does it accurately and consistently employ the scientific method. Models can't go through the scientific method. They aren't establishing cause and effect. They are, like the first sentence in this paragraph, reification fallacies. And as such, it should not be presented to pupils. I completely agree, because if the standard for creationism is that it's not meeting scientific evidence and doesn't adhere to the scientific method, neither does heliocentrism. Neither does
evolution.
You keep taking the words out of my mouth, and neither does evolution. Correct.
Anyway. So let's be clear, because what he's saying is his point of this video is, if it opens the floodgates to any moron that can go into the schools and teach whatever nonsense they want. Well, it seems to me that the morons are already in the schools preaching the nonsense that we want, and we're trying to stop it. But either he's stupid and doesn't realize that he's the problem, or he just basically, he has to be stupid. The problem is that the people are already in the schools teaching pseudoscience, and we need to get rid of the pseudoscience. We need to stop telling kids that the sun's 93 million miles away because it doesn't triangulate on any model. We need to stop telling kids that gravity is a force. It isn't a force, according to the current science. It's an effect. We need to stop teaching kids that the Earth's got a molten iron core when the deepest hole we've ever dug is only 8 miles. What the hell's going on here? Why can't people see that this is fundamentally the reason why I'm kind of beating my drum? Because this is clearly evolution, it's clearly heliocentrism, and this is the point. So this guy's trying to debunk me, and we're not even trying to get in. We're trying to get the people that are in there out, because they are well, I don't know what the word is. They're just viruses.
Did you watch that video I posted, Anthony? Did you watch that?
Yes, I did.
Very relevant to this, wasn't it? Very relevant to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was crazy. I thought you would definitely love that, because it even tied it back to the Scopes trial, all the way back to, creationists being called crazy. But, I mean, there's more evidence even in that video showing that there's more evidence of intelligent design than evolution, but they were trying their best to try to stop it, even in the courts here in the U.S.
Yeah. I mean, they were arguing over whether science, or whether what came first, was it creationism, or what could intelligent design, whatever, could intelligent design, they were arguing over it, like Darwinian against intelligent design. And this isn't even about creationism over Darwinism. This is literally about what are kids being taught. Is it one-sided brainwashing? And it absolutely is. What's happening is these morons that are trying to unpick the arguments are actually giving me more evidence and more ammunition, kind of doing the work for me. Evolution and creationism are another example where pseudoscience, or basically the stuff that the law stops from happening. Look, it says anything that is 406, quick. Anything that's being taught in schools, anything being promoted that's partisan political, let's be honest, evolution is. They should be getting taught creation as an alternative, and they should be encouraged to say, hey, maybe it's not evolution after all. Because if at the end of the day, if evolution can't comply with scientific method, and that's the standard that they're putting in that document, then ultimately it should be removed, because that's the rule that they're putting in place. But overall, this law applies, and it applies to all topics in any teaching and any subject in the school. And we can see that evolution is promoted. It is one-sided. It's clearly political because it's the state, it's the implementation of a government policy, and it's the view as well. So all of this is applied. This applies everywhere, guys. I'm getting off me. I'm stopping beating my drum now. Am I still here?
Yeah, just waiting to see if anybody else challenges what you've got to say.
Yeah, I invite anybody on the Baller side. If you think that you can support and you can defend your glorious religion, bring it on. I will discuss this with anybody because you are all morons. You are brainwashed morons pushing pseudoscience.
The trouble is, you might just get a reaction to that poke calling them morons, as opposed to anyone with any actual challenge. Maybe you could go through some of the challenges that have come so far, and their credit and their invalidity. Is that the correct word?
To be honest, the only one that's really challenged me properly at the minute is Gem Panda. He's the only one that seems to have spotted the point. I mean, the initial challenges were based on whether or not the Earth's flat or not, and I'm like, guys, it's not anything to do with whether the Earth's flat or not. It's to do with whether or not the kids are being taught stuff that's nonsense. I mean, whether you agree with the Earth being a ball or flat or otherwise, it doesn't mean that. It's not even the point. The point is, are they being taught a balanced education, a non-biased education? Are they being taught stuff that is credible? They're not. They're being literally like kettled into one corner, and they go, here, have a bit of evolution. Here, have a bit of heliocentrism. Here, brainwash this. Here, brainwash that.
Yeah, nonsense.
You didn't really fill in the gaps much. You said Gem Panda got the point. So what was his challenge then in that regard?
Well, basically, he was arguing over the word political. I mean, he says that it's not political because there's no politicians involved, or I'm not really sure how his argument was, but for me, politics derives from the word policy, and political, policy, politics, it's all the same thing. Anything to do with the state of the government or the implementation of the government or anything that affects society through the government, anything to do with the government. And obviously the national curriculum is a policy of the government. It's not exempt from the law. You can argue that it's not political. The judge expressly stated that it was not limited to party political, didn't say what it was, but tells us what it's not. Gem Panda argues that it's basically party political, doesn't really argue that doesn't really provide a credible alternative for whatever it is. And the reality is we don't actually know what political means in this context because the judge unfortunately didn't define it, but nonetheless it doesn't stop us asking the question.
I mean, yeah, the judge isn't going to bring his definition into question, and obviously this is a legal paper. But there is a definition for political relating to the government or public affairs of a country.
Yeah, and we can all have an opinion about what's political or not, and that's kind of that's the topic. People will talk about what's political or not, but remember, the judge said it's not limited to party political. And if you're going to implement or you're going to talk about something that's the implementation of a policy of the government, i.e. the national curriculum, I can't see how that cannot be political, to be honest with you.
Sorry,
Sure.
I just want to understand the opposing argument. So he's saying it's not going through the decision-making process, it's not in the hands of policy decision makers, i.e. Political officials, therefore it's not political. But in essence, what is his distinction, or the distinction Gem Panda's missed, is that would make it party political.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to argue, that it's not political. It just isn't. And I don't really understand how he defines that it isn't.
Sorry. No, from what I've just gleaned from what you've just told me, he's arguing that it's not going through the process. Well, that if it's going through the process, it's party political. It's actually being dealt with at party level, as opposed to implied, or like we give an example when we were talking amongst ourselves with Jamie Oliver. You know, he's talking about school dinners. Well, is school dinners voting Labour? No, of course it's not. It's not in the slightest bit. If you want to pigeonhole it in the way Gem Panda has, that's not political. right? Well, yeah, it is, because it's being discussed amongst the people, and Jamie Oliver's talking about it. So just by talking about something, and is he going to say, no, unlike Jamie Oliver, flat Earth and the Copernican model aren't being talked about? Yeah, you're not going to really get that to fly. You know, it's an issue that's just not party political, even if that was relevant, because you've got a specific distinction in 406 that says it's not limited to party political. No, it's in the Dimmock case, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the Dimmock case, my bad. Anyway, there's a very specific distinction that says it's not limited to party political issues, i.e. things that are going through the political process.
And I tell you what's amazing. It's amazing how everybody on the Ball Earth side suddenly becomes experts in evidence, right? But for some reason, when it comes to the heliocentric model, they're really crap at evidence and they're really good with rhetoric. But when it comes to this, they become experts in evidence, and they seem to instantly apply the rules of evidence, which is great because it shows that they can apply it. So why don't you do it to the problems with the heliocentric narrative, like the evidence that stops the gas pressure from bursting off into space? Where is that evidence, guys? If you're going to challenge me on one element of this, that's great. That's good for me. I want you to do that, and I encourage it. It's healthy debate. I'm open for it. But why won't you answer what force is it that bursts gas pressure off into the depths of space? Because Newton says for an object in motion will remain in motion unless acted upon by a force. Well, we know that we've got gas pressure. It's pushing up in all directions from the ground, right? That is happening. So what force is it that stops it that slows it down from bursting off into space? We need a force.
Newton's laws of motion were not right, but it's not that you need a force. You need an area to press upon to have pressure, not force. You need an area. That's how you calculate how much pressure you actually have, the force over a given area. So the area is the critical bit, not the force bit. The fact that they use a religious assertion of a not force that's giving rise to a force that you can think of as a force by way of a bending of a conceptual medium, that horse shit is irrelevant of what gas pressure would actually require. By its nature, it fills the available volume that it has to fill. And the thing that distinguishes how much it's got to fill is the walls of a container. Now, if there are no walls, it's just going to expand into whatever other space it's got beyond that until it does. That's how it works. If you've got a never-ending void, a vacuum of the sky, otherwise known as outer space, then the gas would fill that space.
Yes. And it's not okay to keep ignoring it, guys. We're asking for the evidence. And just because you go, nah, doesn't mean it's going to go away. Just because we keep asking it every day and we get nowhere, doesn't mean it's going to go away. We want to see the science that explains how this is possible, please. Please present your science. Otherwise, it ain't true. It's that simple. If you can be that evidence-based against me, I want you to be that evidence-based against your own model, please. Stop being hypocritical.
I had to jump off. That's why I couldn't respond a minute ago. But I wanted to just to say back on the video, what started the lawsuit? Do you remember what started the lawsuit, Anthony? What they said?
It was right at the very beginning of I can't remember what he said.
That's the critical part. You get lost in the minutia, but all there was a statement from the school system saying there's holes in evolution and that we need to look at alternatives.
That's right.
That's all it was.
That's basically what the law requires us to do in England. Tell the children that there are opposing views, but they don't do it. They hide the opposing views.
Right. Well, and that's what spawned the lawsuit. The evolutionists came out of the woodwork. Did you see that one part too? There was a guy that was writing a paper regarding this, and he was sitting in the tower in Iraq, I think, while the bombs were shelling, and he was trying to make a decision to whether to send this paper because he knew it was going to cost him his career, and he didn't know what it was going to cost him to send that paper off. And then the bombs kept hitting closer and closer and closer. He says, you know what? There's no guarantee of tomorrow. And he hit enter, and it sent it. And then, of course, a firestorm started. He started being ridiculed and started being trying to be discredited, trying to help support what he was doing in the lawsuit. That tells you the state of affairs, very much so, that he's worried about his career.
What's really bad is that this guy even realized that he was going to lose his career if he pursued this, and he was blackballed. That's basically what happened. And the fact is that the evolutionists came out like religious fanatics. That's what basically happened. And I just realized that, like, that's just like the heliocentric idiots. They come out like religious fanatics and then project their own beliefs that of us onto us. The way they behave is the way they accuse us of. I don't want to sound like a well-known prominent figure or slick. I don't have beliefs. It's not necessarily that I don't have beliefs. It's that I realize that you guys can't prove that we're tipping backwards at sunset to cause the earth, the sun to go down. We're not tipping backwards. The sun appears to go down, and you can't prove that it's not. But you tell everybody that it is, and I want to see proof, and you can't prove it. All you can do is pendulums or other nonsense points that don't prove that the earth's turning. So show us the proof that the earth's turning. You haven't got any, have you? Just admit it. You can't do it.
No, they can't. Or we wouldn't be here. On a different subject, I got Granty's camera to give to Arwin.
Do you know what? If Arwin doesn't go on that bus, don't bloody give him that camera. Let's make it political. Hey, see how that becomes political? When it's not even political.
That's a stretch. Political in our little circle, maybe.
Don't give him the camera if he doesn't go on the bus. He's told people, he's took money off people to go on the bus now, and he's trying to change his mind. And I'm like, that's Weasley, Arwin.
The camera was given with no conditions.
Right.
Yeah, but the money he was given money. Come on, Arwin.
That's not my problem.
I was going to say.
That's not my issue.
Well. Anyway,
I'm sure it'll be such a joyous occasion now. I'm glad it's been tarnished by this. Thanks, Arwin.
Hey, Riley. Why don't you actually pay attention to everything I've said in the last two hangouts? Okay?
Well, I've not seen them, so all I've heard is...
Yeah, exactly. So you're just blatting it out there. I'm dealing with some freaking situation.
Yeah,
psychologically, okay? So stop peer pressuring me. Please.
No, I will.
It's only making things worse.
No, I will peer
I haven't eaten in 3 days, Riley.
You haven't eaten in 3 days?
Yeah.
Why?
Freaking anxiety.
It's a driving a bus, man.
That's funny.
It'll make a man of you.
Eat, man.
No, it's not about that.
Arwin, you need to eat, man.
It's about the certainty of it. I've prepared for the conference and I'm going there. I am going to go there today. I've prepared for that for half a year.
What prep have you
was
done?
sprung on me freaking 2 days ago. I can't deal with that kind of shit. I just can't.
Prepared for it for half a year. Man, I haven't done anything. My wife booked my ticket. I haven't even printed off the itinerary.
Baby steps, Arwin. Baby steps. And
I
Nathan
really would
sounds as
appreciate
calm
the
as a
camera
breeze.
because I have a lot of plans for it.
Again, chocolate.
I said, you sound
Also,
as calm
I
as a
offered
breeze.
my public to give back the money if they wanted it, or for me to be able to reinvest it into something else show related. Like,
Yeah, but
for
the problem you've
example,
got out, I think somebody else has been rearranged so that you could have that slot so that it would make the rest of the trip run easy for them, easier.
why didn't they ask that before they did? They sprung me that onto me 2 days ahead of time.
I don't know that that's what's happened. I suspect that's what happened. I suspect that's the reason why they asked you, because you were in the area, it was local to you, and it was probably beneficial to both sides if you did. But I think somebody might have benefited by you going on that thing. They could go put somebody else in somewhere else. I think they'll have a jiggle round now to make it work, whatever. But anyway, it's up to you, Arwin.
Yeah, well,
It'd
I
make a
still
man of
don't
you.
know what I'm gonna do with it, I just know that I can't practically pack for a week. It's just impossible. It doesn't fit. So whatever is gonna happen, if I am gonna go along with them, maybe impromptu, I don't know how far. I don't know. I just know that I can't take this pressure anymore from everyone. Like, this is the ultimate adventure for me, and I'm just dying under the pressure here. That's my experience of that. I'm not getting the enthusiasm of it. I'm just getting pressure.
Chill out.
Even though the idea, looking from a calm perspective, does kind of seem kind of neat. So
Let's just do it. Stop whinging.
Got what?
Yeah.
Just do it then and stop whinging.
Yeah, just do it.
What is that?
Whinging, moaning.
Huh?
Stop moaning. Bloody hellfire.
Just do it, Arwen. It'll make a man of you.
There's no need. Right, Arwen's plenty man enough. Right, if you're anxious about it, don't be. It's a breeze. It's just going to be a bit of driving. What's the big deal? There's nothing to be anxious about. If you're anxious because everyone's saying you need to do this, you need to do that, make sure you get pictures, blah, 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 then just don't sweat it. You know, do it at your own pace, but don't let people pressure you.
All right. Sure. Why not?
True.
You know,
There,
I'll
there's
just
guys
go
like-
eating again and not be nauseated half the day. Okay, sure.
Yeah, just go with it. It'll be fine. Pack as much as you can carry.
Right,
If you've
that's
only
how
got
it
3
works.
days, if not having enough stuff means you could give up after 3 days, at least you tried. But whatever, just go with the flow. Don't worry, don't let it stress you out. That's the worst thing. If it's stressing you out, whatever's causing that, if it's people putting pressure on you to do this and that, just tell them to sod off. But the enjoyable bit is the actual trip. And if that becomes stressful, then yeah, I don't blame you, don't go. But don't allow it to be. It's your experience. Don't allow it to be. You're in control of what's going on here, Arwen. Just take a bit of control. Get a grip. Fuck's sake. Sorry, excuse my language. And have fun. It's going to be fun. Blah, blah, blah. Plus, I've got a camera here to give you. So, you know, don't let that be tarnished.
You can do it!
I've already had a little look at it. Nice. It's a really, really nice camera. I'm really jealous. I want to keep it. So if you can give me an excuse not to give it you, that'd be quite cool. I'll keep it. No, I'm only joking. Obviously, I'm going to hand over that camera to you with great delight. But it's just one of them. Things are looking up, Arwen. Things are looking up. Things are looking Arwen. That's the one. Things are coming up, Arwen. That's the one. I think this could be almost a new record. There's nearly 200 people watching this show, right? And this is on the second channel. I typically say things like, this show goes out to a limited audience. Wow, there's almost 200 people watching.
And none of them can even define what gravity is. But everyone can believe it. Do you know what's? And most of them think that the Earth tips backwards at sunset to cause the sun to go behind the horizon, right? Can't prove it, but they all seem to believe it. Why would you believe such stuff when there's no evidence for it? Prove that the Earth's turning, and then we can believe it. Then we can have a good conversation. Otherwise, the Earth's not turning.
Yeah, they only know how to beg the question. Automatically assume Earth's turning and then start from there, make their examples, let you argue about their examples rather than proving their presupposition. That's all they've got. It's always been the same.
So true as well. Masters at begging the question. I just can't understand how they can be like masters at like understanding the points or getting their heads around the points in that paper, but they can't apply that critical thought to their own model when they know that they can't even. It just defies belief. These people are absolutely stupid or just dishonest. There's no other word for it.
Got a few new people in Discord. My bad for not paying attention and taking you off mute. Hello.
Just pick on one of them, Nathan. Let's see if we can get them to get a definition of gravity out of them.
Who wants to
Or
define,
just kick them all.
Who wants to define gravity in the Discord server? Anybody? Any takers? Share
Or
your
just tell
pain.
us is it a force. Pick on one, Nathan. If they don't respond, kick them out.
Nah, it's Fun Time Friday. Man, you want to cause anxiety today.
I was just gobsmacked at that paper that guy cited, that Everett Anderson. That document saying that pseudoscience should be banned unless it's evolution, in which case we'll push it. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You think that pseudoscience, you think that evolution is science? We need to have a fight with these guys somehow.
I'd just try that again as I've seen what Paul's queued up. So,
What,
who wants
what
to
the hell is
define?
evolution?
Who wants to define gravity in the Discord server? Can't hear it, Paul.
Yeah, gravity. I got you. I can do that for you.
We didn't hear it. Anyway.
What's
Yeah, I
up,
don't know
John?
how to do that. I don't know how to get the sound to come through. On
Don't
the,
worry about it. It's all good. I put it up on screen.
Let me send it to you, Nathan, so you can play it. You
No,
can play
it's
just
all
the
right.
sound.
The moment's past, Paul. Honestly, don't worry. So, are you in Amsterdam, Anthony? Can't hear you.
I didn't see him on the bus pictures yesterday.
I don't know if he'd be going as a tourist. Must have popped himself on mute and doesn't realise.
Hmm.
On a more positive note, are you excited to be going to Amsterdam?
Me?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, you sound pretty excited.
Christ, I
Alan.
haven't eaten for 3 days. Yes. It's just no. I was always gonna go. That's not the issue. The conference is not the issue. Absolutely not.
Hey,
And
QE.
I don't know what's gonna happen yet. I feel anxious. It's just I don't know.
Nothing will happen. You only will get
know.
tagged by the CIA.
Just chocolate gets me, right? You get me.
Bro, I understand. People have traveling, anxiety. I get it.
Yeah. I even had
I know
that with
people-
my own freaking family, So
Yeah, but you have to eat. You got to calm down, man. You can't just not eat for like 4
I
days.
know that, but that's
That's not
also
good.
the part of it that kind of worries me.
Well,
I want to eat again.
So eat, bro. I mean,
Anyway, yeah,
Uh,
get a
down.
grip.
I got some edibles with me for the conference at least, and
Nice.
if finally my appetite comes back to me, I'll just try to see if I can score a good meal at an organic restaurant or something, or I don't know.
Anyway, hello, Quantum Eraser.
Hey, I got 2 words for Arwen.
Fuck off.
No need.
Sorry.
Wow.
I'm only joking.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
No, alcohol's the worst.
Well, let's halve that problem. Say rum instead.
No, I'm not gonna get not a drop this weekend. It's a bad idea.
Hey, John.
Hey,
Does
Tony.
evolution comply with scientific method, John?
What's
Oh.
evolution?
Just bring up your slide. That slide the guy had on his... Can you do that? Can you go back to that video and just go to that slide, please? I don't know if you were
I
watching
can't.
earlier, Quantum Eraser.
John, the mic sounding good, bro.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yes, I was going to mention that. You sound exceptional, as opposed to just, well, terrible.
Yeah, I had enough of that other mic. It was starting the headphones were starting to break down. Can you believe it after a week?
Well, whatever you've got going on now, this is perfect. Just keep doing this. You sound great. How's your GoFundMe coming along?
It's stalled right around 548, but that's okay. That's fine.
John, check this out. Can you see my screen, John? John?
Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay, so this guy called Everett Anderson, I had him blocked years ago. He was one of the first people that I came across that was just a moron. So I blocked him ages ago. And he wanted to challenge me on the paper that I've written. And this is what he's presenting as a debunk, right? It's an official document from the Department for Education. And this is what he's claiming debunks my position, right? This actually works in my favor massively because this illustrates the actual problem that I'm trying to attack. Listen to what it says. The parties acknowledge that the clauses 2.4 and 2.43 and 2.44 of the funding agreement, so bear in mind funding agreement, money, which preclude the teaching of pseudoscience and require the teaching of evolution, apply to all academies. They explicitly require that pupils are taught about the theory of evolution and prevent academy trusts from teaching creationism as scientific fact. Creationism does not accord with the scientific consensus or the very large body of established scientific evidence, nor does it accurately and consistently employ the scientific method, and as such it should not be presented to pupils at the academy as a scientific theory. But when we go to the definition in the Act of what's prohibited, if you promote a partisan political view, well, evolution is the national curriculum. I'm going to say that policy is a political view. It's clearly being promoted, and it is one-sided by definition in the Dimmock case. The evolution process or the theory of evolution is completely complying with or breaching the rule at 406. They can't promote evolution because it's a partisan political view. And if they do that, the provisions of 407 apply, which is that creationism, the balanced opposing view, has to be presented. So they're not putting creationism into the document because they say it doesn't comply with scientific method, but they're inferring somehow that evolution is complying with scientific method. It's completely illegal.
Go back to the first part of the paragraph. Let's go through it.
The parties acknowledge that the clauses 2.44 and 2.43 of the funding agreement, right? Funding agreement is money, which preclude the teaching of pseudoscience. Oh, really?
Oh, they're screwed. Stop right there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're done for. Go on.
And require the teaching of evolution. Apply to all academies.
Stop. What is evolution?
A theory.
They can't tell you that. They will never be able to tell you that. That is a fairy tale. Go on.
Are you not seeing this on screen?
I am.
Okay.
Just read it and stop.
Apply to all academies. They explicitly require that pupils are taught about the theory of evolution.
Stop. There is no scientific theory of evolution. It does not exist. Continue.
And prevent academy trusts from teaching creationism. Why not creation? Creationism. That's interesting.
The scientific fact is there is only creation. Everyone knows it. There was a beginning. So these guys are off the rocker. They're promoting, like the other day, somebody brought it up, the dichotomy of evolution and creationism. That's a false dichotomy. Evolution isn't in there. And the scientific community, quote unquote, knows that creation is the only answer.
Over the page, it says
Continue.
Creationism. Is that even a word? I've not come across that before. Creationism does not accord with the scientific consensus. Like that.
Stop. There is no such animal as scientific consensus. If it's consensus, it isn't science.
Yeah.
Continue.
Or the very large body of established scientific evidence.
Really? We have a large body of scientific evidence of what?
I guess it's a donkey fish morphed into a reptile of some kind.
What is that?
Missing, I would say.
What? No. What is that?
Well, that would be empirical evidence if there was evidence of a donkey fish turning
empirical
into
evidence of what?
That would be evolution, would it not? Change of
How
kind.
in the hell can a donkey morphing have anything whatsoever to do with whether we were created or not? This is non sequitur from the Black Lagoon.
We need to address this somehow. This is this is supposed to be a debunking of my position, but this is actually the problem, and he doesn't realize it. So he's arguing, his position is that if we open the floodgates by allowing flat earth to be taught, then what other morons are going to get into science? And my position is the morons are already in science and they're pushing pseudoscience. We're not the problem. We're the solution. He's like,
I have scientific evidence of creation. I presented it like 10 times already on this channel. Do we want to go for 11th?
Well, that might be the case, but with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on Nathan Oakley, then this is where we bid you farewell. But if you are watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. A massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this live show possible, and of course, massive thank you to all of you in the live audience for hopefully smashing the super chat, as David Rakia Gifford did. Says, teaching kids opposite of Rakia life should hold a life in jail term. Massive thanks to Dave for smashing the super chat. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley 1980.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Maybe I didn't hear. What scientific basis do they have to teach the evolution? Do they say?
Well, it's based on their own rule, which is illegal. The own rule says that it must be based on scientific method, but the actual law says
except for evolution.
Yeah, but the
Whatever
actual
the hell
law
that
says,
is.
well, if you're teaching it as a partisan political subject, one-sided, promoted at the cost of other things being promoted, then that is unlawful. So literally, they're breaking the rules and then saying that the other stuff shouldn't be presented because it doesn't comply with scientific method. Well, it has to be presented by law.
I don't know. It's just weird.
It's bad shit, this. This is the problem.
Because it's not just political. They're trying to tell people exactly how they ended up here, how everything was created. So how the hell? I don't know. That makes no sense to me. Especially when they have no scientific theory for it. It's just nonsense.
Thank God I'm not a bloody baller. So what can we talk about? Nathan's on his way over to Amsterdam soon.
Well, I'm trying to get the Rumpus to come on the show because he in chat is saying he could overcome all our 7 housekeeping questions, but he's conceding by not coming on live, so he's just a coward.
Rumpus tells people that gravity is a force, even though Einstein debunked him in 1915. I don't know how he can sleep at night.
Well, Sean G was just in Discord this morning telling people gravity is still a force.
Really?
Due to his understanding of it.
Is he still
you remember that? Yeah, because he doesn't understand.
See, when you know that there's an issue with your current understanding, right? That's all right. That only works once. You can't use that continuously and use to hide behind it. If you realise that your understanding falls short, guess what, Sean Little G? You've got to do something about it and go and fix it because you can't hide behind that. Stop being dishonest.
But isn't claiming to not know, so just accepting something, isn't that a fallacy?
Yeah, but it was a flat earth.
Sorry,
what?
Well, now the Rumpus thinks that a variation within the species evolving like from ape to a man. This guy's so stupid, it's ridiculous.
He's stupid. He's dishonest as well. I'm just going to
Rumpus.
every day and realise that I am the Rumpus.
Well, it's one thing for sure. Most people sit on their Rumpus, and Rumpus, get off yours and get on the show.
Don't bother, Rumpus. You're full of shit. You tell lies.
We're not live at the moment, right? You know that, right? We will be. We will do another live show, but just so you know, we're not live right now. We can't hear you.
Oh, he can't hear us.
You did hear me round out the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard. He'll hear it maybe eventually.
Well, he still wouldn't come on anyway.
Putting it out there in the air.
Well,
Yeah.
Mr. Air is not the atmosphere. No, you can't put it out there in the air because he doesn't believe it's out there.
So we'll put it in the atmosphere, not the air. Let's do that.
And entropy doesn't apply to the Earth. And there is no scientific evidence, yet there is scientific evidence. And then again, there is that you don't need an independent variable in the scientific method, but you need an independent variable in the scientific method. Yeah, that's wrong.
Evidence. You don't need evidence to prove your bullshit, but you need evidence to prove your bullshit.
You need your variable to be independent, but you can have multiples of it.
Yeah. I'm just glad I don't wake up every day and realize that I am the rumpus.
Sounds like a Beatles song.
You know, Bob the Fallacy guy yesterday showed up on 24/7 Discord with his retarded little globe housekeeping questions.
He's another dishonest motherfucker.
He's a retard.
Could you imagine if would we ever get away with that, right? So, yeah, we hark on about the fact that it's been well over a year, probably 18 months of reading off and rattling off these housekeeping questions. But if someone actually came with an address to one of them, and then we continued to repeat it, you would never get away. We wouldn't get away with it in a million years. Yet on their side of the argument, they can come here, get absolutely obliterated. And in that instance, it was on Ranty Flat Earth channel. Subscribe today. But they, fresh off the presses. Here's our globe Earth housekeeping questions, and every one of them, without exception, was demolished on the fly during a live show upon first presentation to us. And yet he's out there parroting it still. It's like, what the hell?
I honestly don't understand how we need to push the housekeeping points more somehow. Get them to respond to it, otherwise, like get them to address one of them, but otherwise they can't even talk. I mean, what do we do to make them like realize that this shit's like not acceptable to just because that's what they say.
You know what's funny though? It was clear that he was just trying to come on because he didn't want to answer too many questions himself. He just was like, "Well, I got questions for you, Flat Earthers," and it was kind of like one of those. It almost felt like he was trying to set it up. Because I didn't listen to the whole thing because I wasn't even in there, but I don't know. It just seemed like he was trying to play gotcha with his ridiculous questions that were actually very stupid. I don't understand.
And with that, I'll say once again another huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Again, another massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this after show possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!